Hello, everyone. Welcome to Support Saturday Masterclass Edition. And I am Cherice. And today I am the one that's doing the masterclass. And so today's masterclass is on Branding 101. Who's ready for some branding? Who is ready? Alrighty, let me share my screen. And let me go to the beginning over here. Got it set up, and then last minute I decided to add something. So move you people out of my way. Okay. Branding 101. Okay. So if you guys don't know, my name is Cherice Ellison. I'm the oldest of two girls. My parents had two daughters, and I'm the oldest. I've always wanted to be a preschool teacher since the 4th grade, and I've always wanted to own my own preschool since the 5th grade. I was a collegiate track athlete, and so I ran track from 8th grade all the way through college. I got a scholarship to college, so because I guess I was good, good enough to get scholarship. I was a sprinter, so I did all the sprints as well as the relays, and I also long jumped. And then my last year of college, I actually triple jumped as well. So I was a jumper, so a sprinter jumper. I have my degree in child development. The college I went to was Cal State Northridge, and I have to thank them because it was a modeled program. And so my high standards and my quality come from them because they were accredited. They were all on their local NACE board. And it was just a great opportunity for me to realize that, yes, I truly wanted to work with young children. It was like, I remember calling home the first time that I got to work in the lab school. And I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. Because, you know, when you say that you want to work in preschool when you're little, parents are like, no, are you sure you don't want to be a doctor? Are you sure you don't want to do this? You sure you don't want to do that? You know, there's not any money in that. I was like, nope, I want to be a preschool teacher. And then when I got to college, yes, I wanted to be a preschool teacher. I definitely did. I have a dog, and his name is Dino. So sometimes you may hear him in the background. So hopefully he'll behave himself, because anytime that I'm on these things, he decides that he wants to have attention too, just like a kid. I have been in this field for over 29 years. And so next May, early June, it'll be 30 years. I can't believe it's been that long. And I have now owned my preschool since April of 21. I originally started out online with 4 kiddos when I was in the free group. That's where I started. And then that October, after Joy used to have this thing called Breakdown to Break Free. She had that as a bonus. And so I did that. And she kind of just, why not be able to start a preschool in your home? Because I had all these reasons of why I couldn't do it in my house. And so she basically talked me through that I could, and I am. And so I'm going into my 4th year. Now I only have a local program, and I started out with 1 child originally, and then I'm starting this school year with 9 children. So I'm super excited about that. So each year it's growing when I start. So yeah, so I have 4 spots available. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a question. What is branding? So when you think of branding, what do you think of? And I'll jump at once. I'll start calling on folks.
What's new?
What's
Your
new?
logos. Oh, your logos, or what you want for your
Okay.
what you want yours to be.
Okay.
It's, I guess I'm saying it's you. So
Yep,
if you go out and, you know, like my logo has my picture in it per se, everything's gonna have the picture in it. Whatever you put out there has that same picture, and
awesome.
People will know that it's you. Like Walmart, for instance, with their, is it blue and yellow, or Starbucks type, that is branding.
Okay, Lisa, your hand is raised.
Yes, personalizing your business according to what you like, what you would like it to look like
Awesome.
in the presence of other people.
Great, great answer. So let's see the definition. Okay. In marketing, branding is the process of creating a distinct identity for a business in the minds of its target market and general public. It's a way to make your business known to the public and differentiate itself from its competitors. Branding can include a company's name, logo, visual identity design, mission, values, and tone. So tone of voice. Sorry, you guys were in the way. That's like, this spells another one. So basically, it tells a story in a way. Your branding is going to tell the public, your target market, your story. All right. So with that, building a brand consists of at least these 10 steps. Identifying your audience and target market. So before you think about building a brand, you need to identify your target audience. Why do we need to do this? Why do you think we need to do that? Anybody? All right. Because different people respond to different tones, aesthetics, and brand personalities. You know, for example, if you think about Coke and Pepsi. Coke, there's one differentiate, and then there's Pepsi people. Some people swear by Pepsi and some people swear by Coca-Cola. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to brand to those people that are most towards their brand and what they're looking for. They're going to target those people. Does that make sense? So you're going to find out who your audience is. Who are you targeting? Are you targeting those stay-at-home moms that are able to, that are only looking for a couple hours? Are you targeting, you know, a full-time? Sometimes it's your area. Your area sometimes is going to dictate your target market as well. You know, I'm in an area that I can do both. I could probably run a full-time childcare, and I can also do a preschool, which is a few hours. So it just depends on your area and your demographics as well. But you want to obviously identify who your target market is. The next thing, you're going to research your competitors. You want to get to know better the idea of how to cultivate a unique niche or brand. What does their website look like? What are their prices? What's their tone of voice? What are they projecting out to people? And what makes them stand out? So you want to look into those things. You want to make sure that, you know, are you providing the same thing that they're providing? How are they standing out, and how are you going to stand out against them? You know, so you want to think about that. So you want to research your competitors in your area. And if you don't have any preschools, you know, you might have an easier way to be able to brand yourself out there because there's not true competition in your area in regards to that. Number 3, define your brand's purpose and position. So what does that mean? Think about where your preschool business fits. Think about your single purpose, like our mission statement. So basically, what is your mission? What is it that you're trying to put forth? And I should have had my mission statement. I just forgot. A mission statement is primarily for eternal alignment rather than for the audience facing marketing. So your mission statement behind the scenes is your personal thought process of what your business represents. And then everything else is going to brand off or branch off of that afterwards. So what is your voice? What is your brand? What is your personality? What is it that you're going to try? Oh, sorry, I just skipped over. What is their purpose and your position in your field and in your area? So you want to define that. The next thing is you're going to develop a personality and a brand voice. What does that even mean? Has anybody ever heard of that before? Do you know that your brand actually has a voice? So let's think about this for a second. When you think about Disney, what would you think that their voice is when you think about Disney overall? I need to call on somebody. What do you think that their voice is? Family.
Their voice is playful, family-friendly atmosphere. So that's what they want to portray.
The happiest place on earth, right?
Right, yes.
Yes, the happiest place on earth. So they want you to go when you're there to be happy and be joyful and to be fun. So what type of personality, brand, or voice do you want your preschool to represent? My brand, for the most part, it's play-based. I want it to be fun. I wanted them to know that their child is going to learn, but they're going to do it through exploration and having fun. You know what I mean? So what is that? So what does that also look like? Personality is one of the most important aspects of your brand. It's the easiest way to demonstrate your program is unique and attracts the attention of your audience. The same voice should echo across brand operations, your website, social media, emails, etc. Anytime you interact with people, they should see your personality. When you think of Disney, what comes to, oh, I already did that. What's the feeling that, and then what's the feeling that Disney gives off? It gives that happy, joyful feeling when you get, you know, that's how they advertise all the time. Everything is like joyful, fun. Like, oh yes, I want to go to Disney. I'm an adult. Sometimes I see these commercials and I still want to go to Disney. You know, it's because that's what they portray. Next thing, you're going to create your brand story. What's your story? People connect to you. So a story, if you think about stories when they're good, they have a beginning, a middle, and an end. A hero, a struggle, a villain sometimes, you know, so think about your story and how that works. So stories connect people on a personal level. So using them in your marketing is a great way to appeal to your potential families. So your story is also going to relay kind of like a meeting the need of that family, correct? So storytelling is a great supplement to your mission statement. It can explain why your brand exists and its beliefs. Once you have a story, you can incorporate it into your ads, websites, and Facebook pages, etc. So think about your story. Why do you have your business? Why do you have this preschool? What is the reason why your preschool exists, or your micro school exists, or your after school program exists, or whatever it is that you're trying to, your online program exists? Why is it? What's the story behind it? And how can you incorporate that into telling other people about you so that they can relate to it and like, you're exactly what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? The next thing is pick a brand name. Yes, a lot of us probably already have our brand names, you know, but you also want to make sure that your name also represents what we've already talked about in the first 5 steps. Okay. And so naming your brand is one of the most important decisions you'll make, right? Because that's the name that's going to be out there in the world, correct? So it's got to make sure that it fits. Think about the top brand names. They're either abbreviated and or have 2 words, memorable and easy to remember. So you want to make sure that you want to make sure it's easy for people to remember. So if it's super long, it's going to be a lot harder for people to remember it. So if you keep it within, you know, 1 to 3 words, it's going to be a lot easier for people to remember, especially if they're like just seeing it really quickly, you know. And then also too, before you commit to naming your brand, Google it. Make sure it's available. Because that's happened a few times. You know, I remember being in I think I had just joined All Stars. And I remember when we were doing the 7-day challenge, it used to have where you picked your name and then later on you went to the Secretary of State. And I had to tell Joy, I was like, I think you probably want that at the beginning because there's people that have picked a name that's not available. And so they have to already change their name. So you want to make sure that it's available. So Google it to see the different variations that may pop up with the name that you have in mind. And then also check with your Secretary of State to make sure that it's available. You know what I mean? So before you get sold on something, make sure it's available to you. Because otherwise you're going to be very sad. I was very sad of the name that I've had for many, many, many years when I Googled it and it was not really available, meaning it came up when I Google searched it. May not have been here in Arizona, but I didn't want somebody to say my name, you know, like remember my name and then Google it and another something pop up with that name. So I was like, I need to find a different one. All right. So the next step, number 7, write a slogan. A strong slogan is invaluable. It needs to be brief yet descriptive so that you can easily fit it into many spaces. For example, your bio on social media, your website header, your email signature, and more. But remember, your slogan must fit and marry with your brand and not cause confusion. Like my slogan or my motto or whatever you want to call it is where messy hands build brilliant minds. It goes with Discovery Play Preschool because the messy, the play, I love handprints. And so it marries each other. So it goes. So just be mindful of that. You don't want to come out with something way to the left field and like, okay, wait, how does that relate to your name or what it is that you're doing? So making sure that it marries each other. All right, number 8, design your brand look and logo. One of the first impressions a prospective family will have of your brand is the logo, right? So you want something that's going to catch their eye. You want something that represents your brand. But you also want to make sure that it's simple and not too intricate. You know, I should find it. My second logo was I loved it, but it's very intricate. So it was very hard for me to brand it. So you got to be mindful of those things. It's the face of your brand. Your logo is your face of your brand. So keep it simple so that it's easy to, I already said that. So if it's too busy or intricate, it may be hard for you to get shirts or other items because if you're doing, I don't even know what the things are called. A lot of times when I got sent out that logo to get shirts, that one I really loved, like, oh, I'm sorry, we can only do it on one color shirt. What if I don't want just white shirts? What if I want other colors? So I'm going to be limited to only having white shirts with that logo? That's not fun. So I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to have to find something else. So just be mindful of that. This is also encompass your font and mascots. So when we think about your look and your brand look, also think about the font that you use. It has to always be the same, as well as a mascot if you're having mascots. If you think about, if anybody knows Dawn Thorpe, she's Forest Friends. She uses the same Forest Friends in her marketing. Those are her mascots. They don't change. She uses the exact same ones. So she doesn't choose different Forest Friends. She uses the same ones that are in her logo. And so sometimes they're all together and sometimes she mostly just has her fox as her main one. So you just got to be mindful of that. All right, so integrate. Now we're down to number 9. Integrate your brand into your business now. So what does that look like? How do you do that? We have we have the foundation. We have all these other things that we've done now. So now it's time to mesh it cohesively throughout your company. Your brand's personality should be weaved throughout your social media, marketing, and your websites. So it needs to be cohesive. So everywhere that somebody goes, they're going to recognize that, oh, yep, that's Discovery Play Preschool. Oh, yep, that's McDonald's. Oh, yep, that's Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? And so you have to make sure that it's cohesive, because if it's not cohesive, they're going to be confused. So far, does everything make sense? All right. And the last one, number 10, don't be afraid to rebrand. It's okay to rebrand. I've had 4 logos. I've had 4 different logos, trying to find the right one that I felt fit me the best. Even though the second one I loved, but remember, it was too busy, too intricate. I couldn't use it. I couldn't brand it. I couldn't put it on shirts. It was hard to utilize unless it was only on white. So I had my very first one from the 7-day challenge. I was off of Canva and I was like, I wanted to pay for one. So I was like, I'm also unique. I don't want somebody else to pop up somewhere with my same logo. So I paid for one. That's the one, number 2. That's the one I love to pieces, but I can't brand it. I can't put it on other things. Number 3, I decided to do myself on Canva, a little magnifying glass and my little handprints and, but it just was missing something. I was like, it's something, I just feel like it's not professional enough. And so, lo and behold, I just got my 4th one for my 3rd anniversary and I absolutely love it. So don't be afraid to do that. If you feel like your strategies and your brand are not working, it's perfectly fine. Rethink it. Your goal is to connect with your audience. And so if it's not working, change it. Don't stick with it. Figure out. Maybe it's just a logo change. It could be simple as that. That doesn't mean that you have to change your name or your colors. Maybe it's just your logo. So change that. change that so that it makes sure that you're able to represent who you are in your brand. That makes sense? All right. So now, why do we brand? Do I need to call people out? Why do we brand?
Because you're
So
putting
people,
your label on it.
yeah,
I'm
people
sorry?
can tell us from the competition.
Right. So they can tell you apart from the competition. That's exactly right.
So people know
here's
who
the-
you are.
Yep. So people know who you are. Exactly. Because if we all, for example, we all have access to Preschool Club, correct? We all have access to the same websites. So if, for example, I'm somebody new, a parent, prospective parent, and I happen to come across Preschool Club and I plug in Preschool Club and maybe a couple people come up and they look very similar. I might have to think about that for a second. Like, okay, this person over here has this different name, but it's Preschool Club. This person over here has it, but their preschool name is different, but they're offering the same classes. Their websites are very similar, except for, you know, something a little different, maybe.
Seriously?
So how would you, what would that parent kind of think in a way? Just think about that. So you want to make sure if you're branding, you got to make sure you're branding. All right. We're going to talk about that still. So that's important to think about. Why are you branding your stuff? Don't go the easy way out and just accept things as is. Brand it. My website looks completely different than everybody's. There's other people that I know on here that websites look completely different. You wouldn't even know that we have the same hub. Because first of all, I knew straight out the gate, day one, my website was gonna look different. Because like I said, I like the word unique and authentic. And so I needed to be unique to me and authentic to me in my brand. So you got to think about that stuff. Yes, we have done for you. It's easier, but make it your own. Make it who you are and represents you. Okay? All right, so look. So some of these obviously have, you know, the name in it, but some of these don't. But looking at these, do we know what they are? What they represent? Name them out. The ones that we have here.
McDonald's, Nike.
McDonald's,
The
Nike,
Olympics.
Oh,
the
the
Olympics.
Special Olympics or Olympics,
Facebook,
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 Apple,
Apple, Starbucks,
Starbucks.
Nike.
And I threw myself in there because one day, who knows, Discovery Play Preschool may be one of those things.
Pepsi.
Yeah, Pepsi. See? Some of these don't even have a name attached to it, but we know what it represents. We know the brand. Because they market all the time, for one. All the time. Do you think about it? Does McDonald's really have to advertise now? Do they really have to? Or Pepsi?
No.
No. But do they still spend millions of dollars advertising and marketing?
Yes.
They do. Because they're going to keep it in front of our faces to let us know that you need McDonald's. You're hungry, you want some French fries. So one of the things that, you know, being in All-Stars for over 3 years now, is that sometimes a lot of us get discouraged because we sent out flyers one time. We've done a ad, and we've done a few posts, but you don't have any kiddos. It takes time. Do you think McDonald's started out where they're at now? It wasn't overnight. It took time. It takes time to build a business. You're building a brand, you're building a business. So it takes time to do that. So you got to think about that. You have to think about the fact that you need to keep your business in front of people at all times. I'm still learning that. Even though I have somebody help me with that because I do pay somebody to post for me daily. So that helps. But at the same time, I still should be posting as well on top of that. You know, there's different, I have 4 spots still. Have I done anything really to fill those spots? No, I haven't gone out of my way to fill those spots, I should say. You know, so I can't complain that they're not filled because I haven't done my due diligence to get them filled. You know, so I can't complain. So be mindful of what you're putting into it. This is a business. So you have to work the business. You have to grow the business. You have to build the know, like, trust factor in the business. You have to realize that. And I bet you some of these, we know the motto to some of these places too. You know what I mean? So think about that. All right, here are some quick, easy branding tips. Make sure that you brand everything. Online preschools, make sure that all your preschool club marketing videos are changed to your name and logos. Do not use preschool club. It's nice that it's there, but there are people in our group that actually have the domain that has preschool club in it. And so if you're advertising preschool club and you've spent money on ads and so forth and so on, and then that parent says, "Ooh, I'm interested in that preschool club, so I'm going to plug in preschool club." Guess what? Your name may not pop up after you've just spent money on that marketing, because they may not have remembered your name that's connected to the preschool club, your preschool name. So be mindful of that. Also, when you're branding as well, another tip that I don't have here is make sure that you also have videos. So if you're just doing the done for you or on demand, make sure you also have videos. Remember, those are other preschool owners' videos that they could easily look up. If that's the case, why am I paying you? And I can go over here and do them to pay that person directly. So you want to make sure that, remember, it's your brand. Also, when it comes to branding and online, make sure you watch the videos ahead of time. Make sure they associate or marry your story. Remember, we've already talked about those earlier. So your audience, make sure it's your purpose, your personality, your story. So just because they're there doesn't mean that they fit what you represent as a business and a brand. I'm going to be honest. I probably won't be using them because they may not fit my brand of what I'm looking for and what I'm doing. So be mindful. Watch them ahead of time. Because if somebody doesn't like something, guess what? You're out of money because you didn't put yourself in the game. And they're like, okay, well, these aren't my thing. I'm not interested. So I'm no longer going to be a part of it. I'm out because you didn't put anything in there. So make sure, because they're buying you. Remember, they're buying your story. So make sure that you are putting yourself in the story. And I'm just realizing this yellow did not come out very well. Flyers also tells your story and your personality. Stick to, like, so when you're doing flyers and stuff too, when you're branding, stick to the same colors, shapes, and theme. For example, handprints, mascots. Don't just be all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So you stick with that. So that's what that says. Hopefully y'all can read it. All right, picture taking. Picture taking is important. I love taking pictures of my kiddos. I kind of feel bad. Like if I end up getting a building and I still have my families that move with me to the building, I take a lot of pictures. I take a lot of pictures. So let me share. Oopsie, not ready for that yet. Here. All right. So we're going to go through and look at some of the pictures that I take. See? You obviously want to get, obviously it's nice when they're smiling, but you want them to, they want to show a story. Remember, I'm a play-based preschool program. So to me, this represents a play-based preschool program. Now, this picture, is this something that I would want to use? Look at the background. So when you're taking pictures, you want to make sure that you're aware of the background that's behind the children. If the children are the focus of it, you know, you want to make sure that the child's in the frame, like she's kind of in the frame, but yet look at the background of there. Like I have a whole bunch of crap sitting back there. I would not use this in branding for a branding photo. One of my tricks is sometimes I get down on their level. So if we're sitting at the table, I'll put my phone on the table and I'll take a picture of them and I kind of look at it before I take them. You know, it tells a story. My kids are allowed to, like when I'm watering my tree, they're allowed to play with the hose. They're allowed to use the water. They're allowed to play in the water. So this tells a story. And it represents me and my brand. Because, you know, where messy hands build brilliant minds, right? He could get messy. Now, would I use this photo for branding? Anybody?
No,
What's the question?
No, it's too far away.
no, and it
Too
doesn't
far
show
away?
doesn't show the kids, it doesn't capture the moment, nothing there.
Actually, it is good, depending on what the message is, what you're saying. Sorry, I just really disagree. Actually, yeah. It
Oh,
depends
you
on
think
what
so?
you're-
Okay, because I probably would never use.
especially if you're
Wouldn't
looking at
use
the
that.
video.
I wouldn't use that.
Depending
I
on
wouldn't
what you're
use it.
saying, what you're
Uh-huh.
showing, if you're putting a quote, it can always be darkened or something to put in
Mhm.
the background, room for wording. I'm just
Okay, that's a different perspective. See,
You can
sometimes it's about
always-
perspective.
You can always edit them.
yes.
You
I
can
wouldn't
use
use
the
it
pictures. You
because
can always edit them, make the kids closer so you
Right.
can capture that they're both doing something different.
But
Right.
she could even
It's
be
always
talking about
editable.
distance
Right.
in terms of what he learned, where he started.
Mhm.
Now he can go all the way. Now we're learning by, different things.
Right.
This, I mean,
I personally wouldn't use it because it doesn't look safe to me because there's no fence, no nothing.
Oh, my
it's
parents
a
know ahead of
home.
time. It's
Yeah.
a home. I live on a cul-de-sac, so it's actually pretty safe. Like I could technically let my kids play in the street and we'd probably be fine, but I don't allow
And
them.
even that
And
could
I-
also be put in the thing, the beauty of home digging, the beauty of home
Mhm.
home programs. They have the
Right.
same feel as home, the same confidence, learning, how far they can go. I can come up with like
Right.
8 different, let me be quiet. But
No, those
yes,
are great because a totally different perspective. I mean,
Yes.
that goes back to the voice, right? Perspective. It goes back to
Right.
your voice and what it is that you represent. So no, that's good. All right, let's see in the next photo. I don't remember. See, that would be one of the ones I would definitely use. I like movement because that shows the water and the fact that they have the freedom to use it. So yeah, I would definitely probably use this one for sure. And I got down on the level and made sure, so we just don't want to just take pictures to take pictures. When I'm taking all of my pictures, mind you, I send these to my parents, but I mostly take them so that I can use them because I'm sending them off to somebody else to make my postings. So every picture for me, is going to tell a story about my program. So you got to be mindful of the pictures that you're taking. Just don't take pictures just to take pictures. Take pictures with a reason for them. That's why I'm showing you all these. There's got to be a reason. Now, like this one. And so just so you know, I had to intentionally not take pictures well, which was very hard for me. I literally, because I usually delete. Like, if they don't come out right, I delete them. So I intentionally, the last week of school, I had to intentionally take pictures that weren't well. So this one, I would not use this. Her head's cut off. I wouldn't send this anywhere. I wouldn't utilize it. So it was just a picture that I took thinking, so you just be mindful of what pictures that you're utilizing in your programs. Okay. It's it's important that we do that. Any questions on picture taking?
Also, you need to get permission from the parents before you post any
Yes.
pictures.
Yes, you definitely need permission. Like all of my kiddos, my parents are like, yes, 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 yes. So all of my kiddos, praise the Lord, are able to use for photos. And if you're not, be mindful of that, because obviously you can put a happy face on them, or making sure that their backs are to the camera, or, you know, so you probably want to do a face shot. So you'd probably be doing something from behind or above. So there's ways to still capture those moments of those kiddos without their faces. And so just being mindful of that as well. Thank goodness all of my parents do give me permission to utilize them in that.
So if we are just starting out, we don't have any children yet, should we go ahead and use the commercial picture,
Mhm.
like the one
Yep.
that we buy?
Yep, you can use those. You can also just start taking pictures of like maybe your space if you're local, like, or if you get new things like oh my gosh, I'm getting ready to open up this preschool. Look at all these things that I got. Even online, you may be buying stuff for your online program too. Like, you know, taking pictures of those and posting them. You know, if you have children of that age, utilize them in your marketing as well. And so that way you're still representing your brand. Okay. So, did I answer your question? I don't know who's talking. I'm sorry.
Also, if you're just new and you're just starting, like like she said, just everything is marketing. So like
Mhm.
even in one of the challenges, it talks about just showing you doing prep, showing you cutting stuff, like Cherice said, showing your shape, showing your space. Because they're buying you. So if even you don't have kids yet, it's an opportunity for them to get to know you. You don't have to say, I don't have kids yet, or one day I'll
Yep.
have kids here. Don't do that.
Right. Don't do that. You always have you have to think about it like you do, because remember, you're building that know, like, trust factor with people, and so you want to act like you have kids the best way you can. Right. So this is my Instagram feed. Does my Instagram feed tell a story? Is it cohesive? That's a question. You be honest. Anybody? If you're talking, you're muted.
I like it.
Right. Do I use a variety of different colors, or all of my colors the same?
Looks like a variety
Oh, I do?
of colors.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's following the same color
You
palette.
you got purple, and yellow and some green.
That's what I'm saying. But listen to the question. Does it follow my brand, or am I using other colors outside of my branding?
Follow
You're
your
following your
brand.
brand.
Yeah, you're
Purple and
following
yellow
your
is your
brand.
colors.
Purple, yellow, and a blue. Which I think
Mhm.
she lives, yeah, she has blues here. She uses more purple, I realized just now looking at this clips. These are my first part of the thingy. But yeah, so everything tells a story. When I've had people that are that have been in this industry a while, and they go to my Instagram or my Facebook page, they compliment the fact of how well my program is branded. So I've worked hard on that. Well, Monique has. But I had to guide her. I had to tell her. I was like, this is what I want. I want everything in these colors. You know, this is the tone. This is what I'm looking for. You know, so you have to set things up to make sure that it matches your brand. I'm telling a story. So if somebody goes to my feed, they're not going to be confused on what I have to offer. They're going to know that I'm pretty consistent on what it is. There should be no confusion on my business when they come to it. Any questions?
Did you
Okay.
already tell them a quick way on how to find their exact colors on Canva?
I was going to do that after, right now. This is where
Okay,
we're going to
sorry.
do this. Oh, so those pictures were supposed to come with this part. So we kind of already did that. Pictures were supposed to go with this part. So based on what we know, what was wrong with the pictures that we had, and I forgot I had them in the wrong spot. All right, so now we're going to do, since we kind of already know what's wrong, I'm going to drop, let me stop sharing for a second. A link. And before I do that, if you know on Canva, you can do your branding kit. So let me just go to home really quickly. I think that's the easier way to do that. You can create your branding kit. So obviously these are the logos that I've had and have. My newer one. This is my new one right there. And then you can use the your color picker, because I think Joy has that in one of the videos. It's been a while since I've done any videos, so please forgive me, but there is a color picker that you can add to your Chrome bar to be able to pick out, get your colors. And so I have, these are my branding colors. I also have fonts that I kind of like that I use so that I can keep things consistent. You can also add your brand voice here and what that looks like. I actually have that in ChatGPT, which I probably need to bring over here as well now. And so there's ways to be able to make sure that you always have your colors available. Jelly, your hand is raised.
Sorry, I'm changing clothes for a meeting. I just wanted to say, like, when you showed the picture that I know was kind of hard for you to take, where baby girl's head was cut off, I really want to encourage everybody that everything is marketing, everything can be used. Because in that actual picture, you actually, if you're talking about fine mold or different stuff, you actually can just circle down and just have it concentrating on the Legos and her hands on the table. That picture actually can be used for marketing. I just wanted, because I was just thinking like, yeah, it can be, but I was muted. So I'm like, actually,
Right.
it can be used. So
Yes, I mean,
and
it
you
can.
can use your pictures more and over and over. Like once you use a picture, you can use it over and over again.
Mhm.
But just don't get caught up in the perfection of the picture, because every picture still tells a story that can go with your brand, is basically what I'm trying to say.
True. That is definitely a true statement. Like I said, I don't delete a lot. I use a lot of my photos. And so for me, like to try to make a bad picture, it was very hard. Because like she said, you can use it. You can figure out another way to resurface it or reuse it in a different way. And so, like I said, that's why I had a hard time taking not great pictures, because as we talked about, you can kind of use them. So there's a way to create your branding kit on Canva. All right, so let me stop sharing really quickly so I can give you guys, we're gonna do, there it is. Let me get my, why are we not stop sharing? There we go. All right, so let me really quickly get the flyer. That's not the flyer, Cherice. There it is.
Hey, Sharice, 1 second.
Yes, yes.
Maybe show us or how you create your brand voice through Chat GTP. Like how do you,
Yes. Hold on a second. Let me drop the flyer. So we're gonna work on that.
I've been wanting to do that, but I'm like, how do I tell them my voice?
Let me know if you guys are able to open that. And make a copy. Oh, so let me go back to, let me share my screen. So you got to make a copy of it so that way we're not all working on the same thing. So you have to make a copy. Oopsie, now I can't see. That's mine. Oh, that's right, I got out of it. Just trying to find our thing. And I will do that in just a second, Carrie. Hold on, okay? Okay, so you're gonna make a copy of it. Are you able to open that flyer?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna take about 5 to 8 minutes to create that flyer based on the information that we just gathered. And then once we do that, then we're gonna have some people share what they came up with based off of the information that you've been given so far. You're gonna create that flyer to make sure that It tells your story. Any questions? Who's willing to share what they have so far? It doesn't have to be perfect, because obviously it wasn't a lot of time. So, who is open to share what they have so far on their flyer?
I can share. Because funny thing is, I already made a flyer with this particular template.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I try to find one that was like simple and like we could do that was really quick. So,
Yeah, I
so
liked
go
it.
ahead, Carrie.
Oh, well, how do I share?
Be at the bottom somewhere.
Oh. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
My colors are still also purple and yellow, so that's why I like that flyer because it was already there.
Right? Cool.
No. Some pictures that I took when I was doing my classes.
Mm-hmm.
Circles on the end. And then the middle picture is a stock photo.
Okay. Nice, and has the information that's needed. Can I give you one critique?
Yeah.
I would get rid of the now enrolling in the black and the yellow, because
Okay.
it's not cohesive with your branding,
So what should I change it to?
your colors.
Oh,
If you're gonna do it, I would keep it with your colors.
okay. So like change it with the blue or something.
Mm-hmm. So that
Okay.
like the blue could probably stand out behind it. You can keep that yellow if that yellow is your color and just change the black to the blue.
Okay.
And then even the red lettering there too. You just gotta be mindful of the red too. If that's not in your branding colors, I wouldn't use it.
Okay. Should I
So it
just
looks
change
good.
it to black?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right. All right. Who would like to share? Ooh, I like it though. Who else is willing to share what they have so far? Anybody? Don't be shy. It's all learning.
Yes.
Go for it.
No, not me. I
Oh.
didn't get to.
Anybody?
I have one.
Okay, go ahead. Yours looks the same as the template. Go for it, Beth. Oh. I know the only downside of this flyer is that the yellow you can't change, so that's not your colors for those other people. That's the downside, obviously, of this one. But you could always change things out if you needed to. So if that didn't work for you, Canva has other things that you can put in there in its place. Awesome.
You can change the yellow if you drag down the bigger circle, but it's a pain in the butt to recenter it.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Oh, well, what you can do is you can actually go into layers. So if I right click
Oh,
on
is it
this,
layered? Okay, because I hadn't played with that
I
yet.
go
So
to
it's like, oh,
layers
it's not
and
coming
then
up.
click show
Okay.
layers.
Yes.
And then you can
Thank
go
you.
to whichever one you need.
Thank you for showing us that, because that's a great reminder for those people that are still getting to learn Canva, is that sometimes things are overlapping or layered. And so you may not be able to get at it originally, but if you click on layering, you can find out where it's at to be able to change that color. So thank you, because I was like, oh, it's not there, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time on it. So cool.
Question, is
Awesome.
Canvas a app or is it part of Joyce's package?
No, it's a separate, Canva is an app. It's easier to work on the computer, but I like to have the app on my phone because it's easier for me to upload pictures right from my photo gallery into my uploads. So I have them.
Okay.
So yeah, anybody else want to share?
I'll go
Thanks,
ahead.
Beth.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm doing this on my phone. I don't know if I'm so wrong. Oh, screen. There we go. Okay, cool. Oh goodness. I don't know if this is working. Oh, hold on. I have to authenticate Zoom. None of these
Oh.
permission.
Uh,
I was Google Meet girly, so okay, here she go. But yeah, so when I was messing with it, I
cool.
just dragged this circle down, but then I
Yeah,
had to like
okay.
very carefully bring it back up. But
Right. Oh no.
I
That
did
looks
this while
good. I
my
like
kid was
it.
going down for a nap, so you know, it's what
Right?
I got.
No, it looks good. Awesome. Thanks for sharing. Anybody else want to share?
Yeah, I can
Any
share.
questions? Yep. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, let me see. Where's my share button? Where the heck is the share button?
Might be in like more, depending on where what device you're on, or it might be on the bottom or the top. It should be a green arrow.
Got it.
Oh,
Okay, you see it?
Yes. Hi, Tia. I didn't know you were on here. I didn't recognize your voice until I just saw your name. I mean, saw the preschool name.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back. So I
Yes.
didn't,
Oh,
but yeah, I got
awesome.
colors in there, and then I'll play around with that stuff down there with more.
Yeah. Good job. Awesome.
So okay, so I have 3 brand colors, but
Uh-huh.
I want to, whenever I feel like those 3 colors are like too much, I use this hot pink and this orange. Is that okay?
It depends on if you're using it consistently and that it goes well. So that, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So like if you saw my branding kit, I do have like this peachy color that I use on occasion as well. On occasion. Because obviously my main colors is the purple, blue, and yellow. And then I have like this peachy, orangey color that I use as well for that purpose too. So
okay.
Yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
have 2 shades. I have 2 like different shades of kind of brown that I use as auxiliary colors when I have to.
Mhm. So yeah, and you saw on mine too, my brand kit, I actually have a more muted palette and a less muted palette as
Yeah, I
well.
think I use the muted one on my Instagram. So I take that same purple and I like, I think I did transparency and I muted it down. And the same thing with the green.
Mhm.
Yeah. So it's the same color, it's just muted, or what do you call it? Fade out, kind of, whatever.
Right.
But yeah.
So did that make sense going through all that? You know, on the basis of how to tell your story on a flyer? Thought that was the easiest way for us to practice what we kind of were talking about. So any questions overall? Any questions?
I had a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When I do the flyer, like far as where it says, because I haven't worked on it yet, but I'm gonna work on it. Instead of saying like enrollment, do you think join sounds good as well? Like
Yep, whatever. Yeah, you can say join our family, join our preschool. Sometimes I use preschool journey, so I use little explorers because of the magnifying glass in my logo. And so I use little explorers. I call my students little explorers in my marketing. And so, I look forward to your little explorer joining our preschool journey, or I could use expedition if I wanted to as well. So yeah. So whatever you feel represents what you're looking for in your voice, because remember, this is all about your voice and your branding according to the story that you're telling.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Did anybody notice that my slides were all branded with my branding colors?
Yes, we did. Good job.
You know who was gonna say something if it wasn't.
Right. I even have my shirt too. So yeah. So any other questions about branding?
Show your shirt. You can't see your shirt because of how
Oh, sorry.
you're cut off.
Sorry, I thought. Oh, I have my shirt on as well. So yeah. So just be mindful. You're telling a story. So yes, Priscilla.
Were you going to go over real quick how to do the branding voice in, I think it was chat
ChatGPT?
something?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let me stop sharing because I have to pull that up really quickly. And so yeah, so let's see. Um Sorry, my computer didn't want to cooperate for a second. So I'm gonna pull that up really quickly so I can share. So yeah, so just think about it too when you're out and about, as well, that you know that you are you're your own branding. So you know your car, your clothes, your shirts. You know, if you carry a backpack, all those different things are things that you can brand and basically advertise for yourself when you're out and about with your family and stuff. So let me log in. I should have logged in first. So down here is, oh, they've upgraded. So now gotta find out where it's at. Oh, settings, no, customize. They've changed it. Okay. So I kind of just put in a little bit about myself in here. And so that way, ChatGPT is able to respond based off of the information that I have given it to do. So I gave them a little bit of history about myself, and information about my program. This is the voice kind of like right here, how I would like them to respond, with a confident, supportive, kind, knowledgeable, and nurturing tone. Long or short responses will be stated in the chat. You can address me as Cherice unless I request you to use Miss Cherice. When asked to, oopsie, I forgot the D, for a call to action. When I ask for a call to action, I have my web address there for them to use. Instead of using preschoolers, when stated, use explorers, remain neutral. And so you can give it what it is you want it to say, so you can give it your voice. You can give it a little bit of history so it can go back and utilize your voice so it comes out in your writing. Like I had written a speech via ChatGPT for my moving up ceremony, and I was like, wow. I was like, how did, like, it took basically what I wanted out of my head and put it right into a speech for me, and I utilized it because I'd given it a voice of what I'm looking for. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question? Was that helpful on how to do that? Yes, no, I need to hear.
Check your cell phone, please.
Huh? Was that helpful?
Yes. Check your cell phone, please.
Okay. Thank you. I'm like, I need to know. So if I need to move on, I can move on. All right. So yeah, so that's how you do that. You can go to ChatGPT. They moved it because it used to be on the bottom left-hand side corner in the bottom, and it looks like they moved it up into a little bubble. So obviously I haven't been on chat in a little bit. So I did not know that it moved, but I found it. And so yeah, so it's so helpful, like even writing your ads. So like I come in here for my social media post, I go to chat for my social media posts. And it just like, you just give it a little bit and it just totally is like, it feels like it's in your brain and it puts it right out there. And so it follows along the lines of my brand. Any other questions? Anybody? No? All right. With that, let me find you guys. I just lost you. All right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me in this masterclass. And yeah, if you have any other questions, let me know.